Good morning, Theo here, and today might be a day in which you get 2 uploads in one day. I know it's rare, it's not going to be a habit, trust me. I have a lot to do today. However, I did find a little bit of time to go ahead and do this video. Hopefully it will actually be out. If not, it will be tomorrow, and it's probably going to be uploaded to YouTube first, and then we'll upload to BitChute tomorrow, because I won't be sitting here in order to actually get the BitChute thing up and running, unfortunately. So today we're going to talk about Persona 5 Royale, an apparent censorship that's going on that was making its way around the internet last night or yesterday or whenever it was, and translation errors. Let's get into it, shall we? Anyway, it seems it's another year, another day, and another time that Persona is in the news for something, whether it's showing a tad bit too much skin on the legs, or because it's somehow homophobic, or something weird like that, or something else with layers of clothes. You know, I don't even remember. These people complain about just about everything and anything. When it comes to the Persona series, I don't know how many times I've run across articles or something talking about how Persona is inherently evil or bad, and Japan just are a bunch of bigots or something weird like that. Anyway, whatever happened to respecting other people's cultures? I mean, come on. There's nothing wrong with them over there. Anyway, apparently, this is coming from us, from Kotaku, of course. Persona 5 Royal is editing 2 homophobic scenes, because apparently asking kanji for drinks is now anti-gay or something. Anyway, so these are the scenes, of course, in question, and let me get that muted. Actually, I don't think it's gonna, well, it might come through my mic, I'm sorry. Anyway, but yeah, this is apparently the scenes from the original, I believe. I own the game, I've seen these scenes. I don't really remember them all too much, although I did find them funny. Sorry. Jokes are jokes, people. Get over it. You know, people get made fun of every single day, and there are jokes about them all the time when it comes to our media, whether it's the straight guy, the gay guy, the other person who's over there. There's somebody who's always going to have a joke thrown at them, regardless of how the localization messes up everything. But apparently what's supposed to happen is they're there, the two guys come up and go, hey, you want to get a drink? And he's a tad bit upset over that, which, to be totally honest, I feel like that's how I remember that went down. But it's been so long since I've played the game, I really don't remember on the top of my head anymore. I felt like that, because when I heard and was reading about it, I was like, didn't they ask him for a drink? And then somebody, of course, came out and was like, hey, this is a mistranslation. But anyway, we're still getting into it. And of course, we've got the scene from the anime, and of course everything still is unmuted because I'm bad at this, apparently. But you know, it's not really that big of a deal, and the translation team, on the other hand, is the biggest issue here, because apparently they can't translate worth crap, which is nothing new when it comes to translation teams, because Nintendo USA, Nintendo of America's translation team, has the same problem. There's a huge problem with translations when it comes to Funimation and their dub, and them taking liberties here everywhere that they can to change anything and everything that they don't agree with. And you know, Atlus has been having the same problem when it comes to translations, of course. So the big take of all this, TLDR, translators suck at their job, apparently, because nobody can hire the good translators. Therefore, they thought the scene was one way that had to do with the P to the E to the D to the O kind of peoples. Meanwhile, in reality, they were asking him for a drink, and because he is underage of the drinking limit, he was more like, yeah, don't, no, we surprised, and, you know, was trying to say, yeah, I can't do that because I'm underage, which is not the first time that kind of a joke has ever happened, either in the Persona games or any other JRPG game out there, because it has happened a lot. I think almost every game I have ever played, at some point somewhere, someone is like, hey, come get a drink with us, or whatever, we should have a drink, and offers them sake or something like that. And it even happens in animes and other Japanese products, and then the protagonist, of course, is underage, and it's like, and I can't drink, or I shouldn't be drinking, or something like that, and then winds up ordering water or milk or something instead, because you know, let's skip this, because this is where they come back in. This is another scene when they go on holiday for a beach field trip, because, you know, the swimsuit scene always has to happen when it comes to JRPGs and anime and stuff. It's just a classic thing that will happen at some point. Anyway, this is that. But yeah, they come in and decide that they're going to, you know, question him and hit on him again and stuff. And, you know, I find it slightly comical. Look, if you don't like it, that's fine. It's not your taste, but it happens. And I'm probably going to get called a homophobe because I find it funny when two gay guys hit on somebody who's not into it. Right. Okay. Just waiting for it. Somebody's going to be like that. Anyway, but apparently, of course, ResetEra. They are always at the forefront when it comes to trying to get Atlus to censor just about anything, or anything in general when it comes to censoring, because Atlus itself isn't really known for censoring a whole lot. You know, a lot of things do come up, like too much legs, when they announced the new character for Persona 5 Royale, because they tend to release Persona, right? And, you know, the last few times they've then done another one about a year or so later where they add an additional character, and whether or not they add to the story, of course, is debatable depending on who you're talking to. And they add a few other things, which is, of course, in my opinion, the proper way to do a remake of any kind, of course, is to add extra into it that was not there originally, because maybe you didn't think about it, or you thought about it later, or you just didn't have time to finish it, whatever the case is. So I don't really mind their little thing. I mean, that generally, of course, prompts me to wait for the new version, but I didn't for this one. I got this one for, I think, Christmas present or something, so it's all good. But anyway, ResetEra is, of course, always going out there trying to get things censored when it comes to this sort of stuff. They were at the forefront of fixing the character model and stuff, and putting pants on people, because apparently people are afraid of legs nowadays, because you know, the girl in question might be 16. Their legs, get over it, you'll live. Seriously, they're in a gymnast costume. They don't wear sweatpants when they're doing that. Anyway, have you ever seen gymnastics at all? Has your school ever had gymnastics? I know mine didn't, so I mean, heck, we don't even have band. Well, we've got band now, apparently. But aside from that, you know, having a character who is in a particular, you know, extracurricular activity or whatnot, and dressed in said uniform, not a weird thing. I don't understand where these people get at when they're running around yelling P to the E to the D to the O because she's wearing a leotard. Ooh. Anyway, but nah, seriously, ResetEra is cancer. This is where a lot of this stuff seems to start. But here's the mistranslation information. Apparently, it's been shared here. Because the Western version was offensive and, more importantly, incorrectly translated from the original Japanese script, Atlus USA made the Shinjuku trolls out to be sexual predators hunting for young men, when this was not the case in the original. They were literally just offering to buy Renji a drink because he was in the gay hookup district. Ryuji was only freaking out because he was underage and didn't want to get caught. The whole joke is supposed to be two men don't know Ryuji's a minor, but Atlus USA made them out to be a molester, which is why when he sees the cops, he freaks out too, because they're in this sketchier district of town, right? To go meet somebody at a bar, or wait, was that before that or after that? Anyway, they're there to meet or look for something, and they happen to be there, and he's kind of freaking out because they're in the sketchier part of town where things like, you know, hookers and other things may be about or whatever, and you know, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of bars and stuff like that, and that's the whole point to the joke. Then he gets, of course, approached because he looks good, and they're like, oh, you should come have a drink with us. And he freaks out because he doesn't want to get caught, and then you sort of feed him to the wolves like I did. And it's like, you got this. I'm gonna go over here and take care of something else. And then he gets mad at you the next day and it's like, why did you leave me? But anyway, if there's going to change anything, they most likely going to try to match up with the original intent of the Japanese script, which should not be considered censorship, which is true. When it comes to translation, sometimes it can be a little fickle, because sometimes, you know, we say things a certain way, but in, say, another country, it's said completely different and may not completely make sense to us normally. But yeah. Anyway, no, but I've played Royale alongside a friend of mine who translated for me every step of the way. Now, when people say things like that, I have to question how true that is, but we'll give the benefit of the doubt here, right? I don't know who this person is. Maybe they did. When we got to that part in the game, he told me that there were no predator implications to be found in their dialogue. We last checked the Japanese version of vanilla PS5 to see if it got censored for Japanese Royale, but the dialogue was exactly 100% of the same between two versions. We also found an old Tumblr post from about a year ago that detailed not only explaining the original dialogue, but also critiqued Atlus USA for not properly researching very basic aspects of gay hookup culture. That post doesn't seem to be around anymore, though I've been looking for it all day ever since this censorship drama started. Again, but I can't find it anywhere. My guess is the author either changed URLs or closed the blog entirely. That, of course, is that. Seems to be a bad translation error, which wouldn't be surprising at all because this is from April 2017 over at Polygon. I really hate journalist sites. Anyway, Persona 5 deserves better and a translator's take on a subpar script. And yeah, this is an article talking about how the translators that translated Persona are trash. They did really bad at their job, and this person could do way better and other things. This person being, I think, Molly Lee. But you know, when it comes to translating, unfortunately, I don't have a leg to stay or to even, you know, be on when it comes to talking about translating, because I can't translate. I know English, a little bit of Japanese, I can read Spanish, but I can't exactly speak it. It doesn't roll off my tongue very well. And a slight bit of German, but other than that, I can't sit there and translate something. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, apparently the translation has been botched, which is not surprising at all, because apparently we can't translate over here in the West anymore. Not that we could before, with all your bases belong to us, but besides the memes, we generally have an issue sometimes when it comes to translation and some of our translating teams, especially in the anime industry and some of the JRPG sides, when it comes to Nintendo and Atlus. Now, other places, of course, we don't seem to be having that big of a problem when it comes to things from Sony and other larger companies that are Japanese-based. But it just seems to be a few of them, you know? But yeah, take all this how you want. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, of course. Did Atlus censor? Once again, did they censor because they didn't beforehand? Or did the translation team, of course, completely flub it up, mess it up, and people are upset over jokes that don't matter? Anyway, let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.